Hello, said Alice. You're listening to Red Herring, a Batwoman podcast. I'm Erin,
And I'm Shelley.
and we're here to get curiouser and curiouser about the latest episode of Batwoman. This week, we're talking about Batwoman Season 1, Episode 16, Through the Looking Glass. The official episode synopsis reads, Kate begins to question her instincts and Luke gets upsetting news. Alice seeks her sister's help with a special task. All of that did happen in the episode, but I would say that Luke got a little bit more than upsetting news.
Yeah, I think it turned out different, but it's still upsetting nonetheless.
Yeah.
Different than what we initially thought it would, anyways.
Yeah, it was not upsetting in the way that I thought it would be. I think it's worse. So, yeah, you want to start with your first thing, or whatever thing you want to go with?
Yeah, so in my opinion, the biggest thing that happened in the show was Kate leaving Alice at Arkham, locking her in with Mouse.
Yeah, I know you have some feelings about that.
Oh man, so many feelings. It broke me like so hard. Like every time I watch it, the first time I watched it, I like legit like sobbed. And then like it's gotten progressively better, but I still like tear up bare minimum.
Your reaction when it first happened, because the episode like accidentally dropped early, and I saw you were talking about it on Twitter, and you weren't saying what happened, but by how upset you were, I thought Alice died.
She may as well be, I think, at this point. Like the Alice that we knew and were starting to like, I think Kate just totally broke her. And that Alice might not exist anymore.
Yeah, especially because like they had so much fun together this episode.
They did, and they were really like sisters.
They really were, and like, when they were in Arkham and they go their separate ways to go get the keys from different people, and Alice just goes skipping off, and they're just like having a good time in their weird way that they finally trust each other and stuff like that. Because now I don't think that they can get back there again.
Alice trusted Kate, and she let Kate know that. Like she was being so sincere and serious when they were laying on the floor after Kate tried to choke her. And they were like having a heart to heart. Alice was like legit sane for like a moment. Like you could tell she was very serious, very sincere.
Mm-hmm.
She thanked Kate for killing the man who destroyed her life and destroyed their family, and told her to not feel guilty, not waste any feelings of hers feeling guilty for him, for killing him. And I mean, it turns out Kate doesn't. She feels guilty because she doesn't feel guilty.
Right.
But Alice let Kate know that she trusted her and wants Kate to trust her. And that's like one of the funnier lines there's like a few really good lines, was, "Have I ever lied to you?" And Kate responds literally dozens of times.
Literally dozens of times.
Without like missing a beat. But yeah, I'm afraid of what we're going to get. The last scene of the show was Alice saying she's in Arkham. She's in her Arkham jumpsuit and those terrible shoes. And she's saying that she doesn't want to be anybody's prisoner. She wants to be a queen. And I don't know what that means.
It's very scary.
But I associate it with the Queen of Hearts.
Right, who we know from last episode sucked real hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am frightened. And I get why she did it. It's not as if they could just go on with their lives and Alice can grab Mouse and disappear, which is what she said she was going to do, and they can ignore the mass murder and everything like that. Like, all of that still happened. Alice is definitely still super unhinged, and like, I get that they couldn't just let her go, but also this is like the worst possible option.
Right. Yeah, I just can't believe she did that. Like, I cannot believe Kate did that. And like, she's sitting in her dad's office, and she tells him like it needed to be done, and she needed to be the one to do it.
But
and
Why? That's the thing that's gonna hurt Alice the most.
And she told Kate that. She
Mm-hmm.
confided that in Kate, that was during that whole fear toxin situation. That was one of her biggest fears, was when Kate left her.
Mm-hmm.
And like her screaming, "Don't leave me," like I almost can't handle watching it.
Yeah. When I watched, I think what struck me the most when I watched that is that, like, even though, like, she had every right to be so pissed when that was happening, she was still just, like, begging her not to do it, which is hurts my feeling.
Yeah, your one feeling.
My one feeling, yep. Yeah, that's real bad.
So I don't know. I mean, Alice did set it up to do that, for her to kill Cartwright, and that was wrong. And maybe that's why Kate responded the way she did. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, she did definitely do that. She did want Kate to kill August, and pretty much manipulated her into doing that. And, like, Kate is struggling with having murdered somebody. Um, like, I totally get all of Kate's fears too. I definitely don't think there was any good option, but this was a very bad option.
I think it's like it's like a stretch for her to be afraid that she's turning into Alice, because she killed one person who destroyed her family and ruined her twin
Right.
sister.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a reach.
Yeah. I mean, before Alice was a bit reformed, she would just kill people at random. Like, remember that old couple at the beginning of the season that
Mm-hmm.
she slit throats? Like, they didn't have to die.
No, they didn't.
So I guess now also this kind of rolls into my other thing. Everybody knows that Alice isn't dead.
Right. That's true.
So that cat's out of the bag.
It is. But we gotta let some cats out of the bag because all of Alice's cats are dead now.
Yeah. Her evil henchman.
Her evil henchman. Um, yeah, that was one of my things. Is at the beginning they were after they buried August's body, Alice gets away and then she goes back to her I don't even know what to call it, her secret lair, and is looking for Mouse, and finds that all of her cats and rabbits, all of her evil henchmen, um, have been grossly murdered. And there's a note on it that says, I don't remember exactly what it says, but like, you should know I don't forget things or something like that. And it's signed your friend from Coriana, which is presumably Sophia, who Alice fucked over a few episodes ago.
Yeah, she casually stated that she wronged her in the past.
Yes. Yeah. Sophia gave Alice the vial of,
Desert Rose.
yeah, that saved Mary from the Tea Party, and Alice was supposed to give her the coil accelerator thing that could kill uh, Batwoman. But she took out the part that actually did the killing. So Sophia's pissed, which we all knew was going to happen. Yeah, I mean, she's not going to be in Arkham for that long, I feel like.
I doubt it. I don't. Who's going to break her out though?
I don't know, Sophia.
Maybe. I mean, her henchmen are dead. Mouse is in there.
Right.
She might figure a way to do it herself, like from the inside, but she seems kind of broken right now. Like she didn't seem that with it.
Right.
I mean, maybe she was, but it's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, I mean, certainly that one little wisp of sanity that she had is gone now.
I think so. And it's so sad. Like, I just can't get over it. I just
I
can't.
know.
I'm
I love
so
her.
angry at Kate. Like, I'm so pissed off.
I'm mad. Like, I get she had to do something, but I don't think it had to be this.
No.
I don't know a better option, but I mean, she's got all of the bat technology. She could have found a way to keep Alice down there somehow or something.
Right. Well, I mean,
Or let her fuck off with Mouse. Because that's what she wanted to do. But, I mean, I don't
right,
believe there's any guarantee that she wouldn't fuck off somewhere and then start murdering people.
right. Especially Mouse. I mean, Alice had a good point. He was exposed to that fear toxin for days without a break.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows what kind of mental state he's in. Although when Kate locked Alice in the cell, he was exasperated. Like, why did you trust her again?
Who knows when Batwoman's gonna come back now, but I would really like to know what's gonna happen. Hey, it's Aaron. Fun fact, Batwoman comes back on April 26th. We didn't know that at the time.
Right? I'm not sure. I may be making this up, but did I read somewhere they already finished the season?
I thought they had gotten close to it, but I don't think they finished it.
So it's not a guarantee. I mean, I know we're not getting a new episode this week, but are we? It's not a guarantee that we'll get one on whatever next week is.
It doesn't look like any of them are coming back until at least April 19th or something like that.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Future Aaron again. One more time for the class, April 26th. They're trying to drag them out a little bit so that they can end on time, but also, I mean, I know they probably each have a couple episodes locked, but they still have all the like visual effects stuff and everything after that they do after they're done filming. And I know that like they can't have their like sound editors and everybody like coming in to work. So I don't even know how many episodes those shows have done. It's gonna be a minute.
Kind of like everything else, I guess.
Yeah, literally everything else. Like there's just no. I don't think they can say when they're coming back because nobody knows when anything is gonna. Except they can say when they're coming back, and they did say when they're coming back, and it's April 26th. Isn't it fun to listen to your past self be a dumbass? Now that we've all agreed it's April 26th, we're gonna go ahead and just bounce you right back to your podcast. I put these as two separate points in my thing, but I guess the whole Luke and Mary and Sophie and Julia storylines, they're pretty intertwined in this episode.
Yeah. It all starts out with Jacob hiring Sophie back as a crow.
He says he found like a $50,000 payout from the crows to Aaliyah Nazari, who I guess owned the convenience store, was working at the convenience store where Lucius Fox was murdered. And there's 4 hours of missing surveillance footage from that night. So he thinks that the crows paid Nazari to lose the tape so that there could be no footage of his murder. And Sophie goes to talk to Nazari to see what she has to say about it, and Nazari is dead. There's Lil Red sniper rifle dot on Sophie. And then Julia Pennyworth appears out of nowhere and saves Sophie and takes a bullet to the arm in the process and tells her that she works for British intelligence and they intercepted a communique about a hit out for Sophie. So Julia came to stop it.
She's so awesome. I'm so about it.
Yeah, Sophie's like, how do you know my name? And Julia's like, you're Kate's ex, right? So am I. That was funny. I thought that they might hook up.
So did I. That is not how it went, but
that is not how it went. She did hook up with someone. That was cool. I'm trying not to be suspicious of Julia. I mean, I think their story makes sense.
It does make sense. I have it in my notes. Like, do you think something's up with Julia? Is she really British intelligence?
I feel like she's probably not British intelligence.
But she may have been at one time.
Right. I'm not sure. I mean, Lucius Fox was her godfather, and she would have been a kid when he died. I don't think she has anything to do with that. But I feel like she's not British intelligence.
I mean, Alfred was in his younger days. So that tracks. And she's Alfred's granddaughter. So I would think that she would have like allegiance or loyalty to Bruce and his family, unless she feels like Alfred wasted his life being a butler an assistant to them. I don't know. That's
Yeah.
not Kate's problem. I don't know.
I don't really think we have any reason to believe that she's bad or anything. I just feel like we don't know enough about her to trust her yet. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like her a lot. So I hope that I can continue to like her.
Yeah, me too. And I guess Kate still really likes her.
Clearly. Yeah, so Sophie and Julia go to Mary's clinic, and that was another really good Mary moment where she walks in and she's like, hi. And she tells Julia that she recognizes her, and they do again the like, yeah, she's Kate's ex, we've covered that, which is funny. But then Mary says, no, you're Kate's assistant. And then Julia tells her that she's British intelligence, and Mary does a really good side eye. That's like, I know what the fuck's going on. Like,
Yeah, like that makes more sense.
yeah, she's like, yeah, that tracks. I knew you weren't her assistant. Sophie and Julia then go to, I guess, a motel room, and so that Sophie can hide because there's a hit out on her, and they realize that whatever's going on is connected to Lucius Fox's death. And Julia says she has to go to check on Luke, so she leaves. And then at Wayne Tower ends up finding Kate, who is sitting on the ledge of the roof and drinking whiskey, which seems very dangerous.
Yeah. And it looked like the whiskey was called Old Gotham.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
And Kate tells her to go away, and she's like, unfortunately, I can't do that because you're getting drunk and sitting on a ledge. And I was like, I support you, Julia. She's like, you don't have to talk to me, but I'm not going to leave. 10 points to Julia. And then they start talking, and that's when Kate says that she's worried that she's turning into Alice or whatever. And Julia tells her that she's nothing like her sister. And then they make out on a ledge, which also seems dangerous.
That seemed more dangerous than Kate just sitting there drinking by herself.
Yeah, because then they were both leaning over. A horrible idea, really.
Yeah.
Also, not a great time to hook up with somebody.
Because she was just making out with Sophie like an episode ago.
Yes, and she just locked her sister in an asylum. Like, it just doesn't seem like a good coping mechanism right now.
Right. And murdered someone. Like, she's got a lot on her plate.
Yeah, so, unfortunately, I do not think that, keep going.
She seems to really be into choking also all of a sudden. Like
she does love to choke people.
And I don't know, like I've never noticed it before. I mean, of course now she's like freaking out a little bit when she does it. So she almost choked Alice. She almost choked that robber or whatever he was that she cornered in an alley, broke his foot, which was gross. Yeah, it reminds me of like the bloodlust that you saw people on Arrow get after they came out of the Lazarus pit.
Sarah and Thea.
And then Roy.
Yeah, I mean, Kate's been choking people for a long time because she tried to strangle Alice a long time ago.
Yeah, that's true.
Kinky. Yeah. We should note that the song that was playing over Julia and Kate's makeout sesh was the same song that played when Cara and Lena were staring at photos of each other.
Yeah.
And I know that song was also playing over like an Alex and Kelly scene. Like that was the majority of that song, but still.
They could have stopped it.
Right. It's curious. It's curious.
Very curious.
Very curious. So, yeah, I guess you want to get into the other Lucius Fox stuff?
Yeah. So Luke gets word that the guy who was charged with killing his dad is getting a hearing. And I can't remember how he phrased it, but it's basically like to get him a retrial.
Yeah.
Saying that he wasn't, I guess, sufficiently found guilty. So Reggie was the guy's first name. I don't remember his last name.
Reggie Harris.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But I think at the trial, Mary showing up for him is like everything.
Yeah, he wouldn't let Kate go with him, even though she offered. Um, and Mary just showed up and she was like, I know how this feels. I'm not going to let you be alone right now. And she is just the MVP of this entire show forever.
She really is. So Reggie gets out of jail and has a basis for a retrial because of this kind of ties back into a previous episode where there was a corrupt judge, a corrupt cop, and I think that's all going to tie back to the Crows somehow eventually down the line, but I don't know how or who. But Luke is shocked, so he goes to confront Reggie, which is stupid.
Yeah.
Like just a really stupid idea.
Uh-huh.
But he does it, and I mean, I definitely believed what Reggie was saying, that he was set up. He didn't seem at all like he had genuine remorse for Luke's dad's death. He stuttered over telling Luke that his dad's blood was all over him when he came to.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was respectful of Luke's situation and had empathy.
Yeah, and he was talking about Lucius was saying how proud he was of Luke for getting into MIT before everything, and like Camus Johnson's acting in that scene was incredible.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
And he wouldn't let himself believe that Reggie Harris didn't kill his dad. Um, even after he had told him all that stuff. But then somebody shoots Reggie Harris and he dies right in front of Luke.
And he's lucky he did not get hauled in for that.
Yeah, or shot.
That too.
So basically, it appears that somebody is out there trying to take out everybody who's connected to Lucius Fox's murder and investigation in any way. So something's going on, something big.
Yeah. I find it odd that Julia had no idea that whatever allegedly British intelligence sent her out to do, that she had no idea that it all tied back to Lucius Fox's murder.
I agree. I think that she knows something.
It was sweet at the end when Luke goes to Mary's clinic and he walks in and he's covered in blood and how concerned she is for him.
Yeah, they're really cute. I think they're gonna date.
I hope so.
I hope so too. Yeah, I'm actually like, this is a really good conspiracy story. Like, it's not been super dragged out or anything. Like, it's just interesting, and I want to know what happens.
Yeah, me too. That was really all my things that went on in the show.
Yeah.
I had some things that like I thought were funny, or for whatever reason I typed it down, but it's just like background stuff.
Yeah, I'm just making sure that there's nothing else.
Kate lied to Luke about knowing anything about the whereabouts of Cartwright. So that's, I think, maybe a little bit important.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand. Why wouldn't she tell him?
Right. She's making some questionable choices.
I mean, especially when he's concerned because he's upset that Cartwright killed Beth and that he would possibly still be out there. Another semi-important thing that happened that nothing really came of it was somebody tried to shoot Jacob also, and then Jacob shot the guy and killed him, the hitman, but did not get an answer from him who hired him, who he was working for.
Yeah. I wonder if he's sick of people trying to murder him every 5 minutes.
Right. And you can tell, like, I knew it was coming. I knew like that red dot was about to appear on his chest just because how the camera was positioned. He was walking dead center in the shot. Like I knew it was coming. And I just figured, like, is he gonna die in this episode?
Yeah. There's no way he makes it through this entire series, right?
I don't think so. I mean, he's like Oliver Queen territory at this point.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. For sure. Yeah, I don't have any other big things. We got a call back to Crisis, speaking of Oliver Queen.
We did.
Kate said after her fight with Alice, she said, "Battle not with monsters, lest you become a monster." And then she says somebody told her that once, and that person was Earth 99 Bruce Wayne, who was a bad guy.
I like that Alice asked what happened to him, and Kate was just like, he became a monster.
Yeah. I think they were really trying to hammer home this Kate thinks she's becoming Alice thing. But I enjoyed the callback.
Yeah.
I liked that Alice kept like she tried to get Kate to play with the butterfly knife and Kate wouldn't do it. And she was like teasing her about it, and then later she threw Kate the butterfly knife and Kate clearly knows how to use it, and Alice was like proud of her.
Yeah. And that sound of Alice removing that knife from that guy's leg was gross.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
That whole scene where they were at that lady's house, that nurse's house, that was really hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Where Alice told the lady that she'd love a brownie.
And then she stabbed it with her knife.
Yeah, Kate's just like, really? And Alice said, "We buried a body this morning. When did you have time to eat?" And then at the end of their stay at that house, the nurse had called the crows on them. And then she pulled a shotgun on Kate and Alice because she knew they were lying. And like Kate's like startled and puts her hands up right away. And Alice just like rolls her eyes and looks bored and then puts her hands up like half-hearted. She's like not even into it.
I know. And then they knock her the fuck out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed them being together this whole episode. I'm upset at how it ended.
So upset. To leave her at Arkham, which is just like the shittiest place on the planet. Like she was just telling Kate how that doctor would give Mouse fear toxin daily and like experiment on him. And that's where, like, my opinion, it's just like a notch above Alice Beth being left at Cartwright's.
Right. I can't believe that both Jacob and Kate chose to put Alice in Arkham especially after Kate learned what they did to Mouse.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else?
This is like nothing. When they broke into Arkham, Kate wore leather pants. Like, wouldn't that be like a little restricting for like trying to fight your way through? I don't know.
But it's never been for Sarah.
It's true.
Or Winona.
Yeah, that is very true. All the leather pant wearing. Jacob moved Cartwright's body so that Alice can't hold that over them.
Yeah. I like that he's perfectly capable of digging up and removing and relocating a body, but he needed to take Kate and Alice with him the first time for some reason.
I guess. I mean, Kate seemed a little like catatonic, and Alice is crazy.
Yeah. He's like, let me take care of them while I take care of this.
Yeah.
This is the first time you've ever been mad at Batwoman?
I've been disappointed. I'm like, yeah, I'm just angry. And like part of me feels like, why do I sympathize so hard with a serial killer? But it's the underlying cause of it all.
Yeah.
And it seemed like she kept Kate's promise to not kill that guy when she really, really wanted to. Like she said like he was on her list. Yeah. But she didn't. And I think she could have been reformed in a way that could have been like helpful, good from a certain perspective, I guess. Because I don't think you can totally undo the damage that was done to Alice, unfortunately.
Certainly don't think you can now.
No. Now I think I said that before though. Like I said that earlier in their season. Like, yeah, when Kate chose New Beth over Alice, I thought like it would be crazy, but that just kind of made Alice double down and like fight harder for Kate's affection. Like after she just told her one of her biggest fears on the fear toxin was Kate leaving her behind. And then that's exactly what Kate did, like later that day.
Mm-hmm.
At like a terrible place. Like they know Arkham's like a piece of shit.
Yeah, I can't believe they did that.
Like I know she's done horrible things, and I mean, I don't know. I just don't even know.
I know. Okay. You want to get into some listener feedback?
Yes.
Okay. We had a bunch of tweets. The first one is from Ro, who is at RoGVortex58. And Ro says, I think Alice being right about the crows all along sets things up for a possible alliance with her, Kate, and Jacob, which could lead to a redemption for her character. Why else would the writers make the crows corrupt if Kate and her sister weren't meant to take them down together? It's a great question, although I wonder how they're going to do anything together now.
Yeah. Hopefully they can get past it. I just don't. I just have lost confidence in it at this point.
Well, any consolation, the writers of Batwoman have consistently done like 98% very, very good things. So maybe they can get out of it.
And I'm not saying that what they've done is a bad thing or anything like that.
Right.
I mean, obviously, you've made me feel like all kinds of feelings, so you're doing your job.
They are doing their jobs. It is a compelling story twist. It just hurts my feeling.
Yeah, all of mine are hurt badly.
Every single one of them.
They're limping along like that dude's foot with the broken foot.
Thanks for that.
No problem.
Brooke H, who is at Silent Wonder 812, says, this one hurt more than the last episode, and I didn't think that was possible. Truth. At Delilah_Knight says, this episode broke my heart. How is Rachel Scarston so good that I wanted to cry for her as she was left behind? Well, Shelley did, I'm pretty sure.
I did hard, especially the first time. Like, I'm not joking. Like, when I say sob, like, tear stains on my shirt, like, no joke. It was just so gut-wrenching for me to see that. Like, I just couldn't, I still can't. Like, it's still, I watched again last night just to be fresh for today. And it still got me.
Wow.
I don't know why I didn't fast forward through it.
Yeah, you could have. You just totally torturing yourself.
Yeah. Sorry.
You're fine. Delilah says, I thought Kate might lock her in, and the second it was only Alice in the room and it took her too long with the straps, I knew. Also, Julia is so much better for Kate. I really like them together. I don't think that's an endgame situation at all. But I do really like them together. I hope Julia is not bad.
I hope so too.
Mm-hmm. All right, that was all our tweets. Thank you for sending those to us. You can get us at Red Herring Pod on Twitter if you ever want to tweet us things.
So our first email this week was from Clara. And Clara says, hi, Bat Podcasters. Hello.
Hey.
So before I start crying over this email, I think we should take a moment to celebrate that no one lost their face this episode. In exchange, a lot of strangling happened, but I think it's a fair trade and a lot less traumatizing. It's true. I'll take it. There's probably no way to do this than to rip off the Band-Aid, right? I'm so sad. This is not okay. The writers of this show are as insane as Alice. I can understand Kate's decision, but really, this is not okay. I was so happy that Kate and Alice were working together and that Alice was being somewhat honest with her and sharing her feelings. All of that for Kate to be the one who fucking betrayed her in the end. Exactly. Yes. And the worst thing is that maybe I saw it coming, but I didn't want to believe it until the very end. I did not see it coming at all. Maybe I'm naive.
I just wasn't thinking about it.
When I heard that door shut, I was just like, what the fuck? Like, I know I said that out loud. And then the waterworks started. So it was like downhill after that. But
yeah. See, I was convinced that Alice was going to die. So I was just like not thinking about anything else. I was just like biting my knuckles, like very, very scared. And then the door shut and I was like, oh, this is not good either.
I felt like my throat closed up at that point. Like when
No.
she was like struggling with those straps and she was just like, Kate, help me with these. And then you hear that click and I was just like, fuck you, man.
And
So
then Jacob
yeah.
showed up. I was more mad at Jacob, which I mean I understand I
Me
should be mad at Kate
too.
too, but oh, Jacob. Because like the Arkham part was probably Jacob's idea.
Oh yeah. And I don't get what, like, I feel like the Crows has done, maybe not Jacob totally knowing about it, but I still think they've done really shady shit.
Right.
And I'm like using air quotes in the name of the law or what's better for Gotham. But I just, he just looked all like high and mighty and like I could not stand it. Like I just wanted to punch him.
Yeah. Same.
Or I wish like Kate would have just stayed with Alice as they like processed her and like plans on visiting her and like there's nothing wrong with like being in a mental hospital. I think there's a lot wrong with being in a place like Arkham,
Mm-hmm.
which is like straight out of like the 1910s as
Right.
far as like mental health goes and mental health treatment. But yeah, I'm still salty about that, as you could tell. So back to Clara's email. Sorry about that, Clara. I let myself be lulled to a sense of false security because they were very cute fighting together in their little rabbit masks. Though I was infuriated by the fact they kept on taking them off, literally screaming in my head about security cameras, all for nothing because they both had no reason to hide their faces in the end. The hands on the door parallel killed me, especially since this time Kate is abandoning her sister on purpose. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how Alice will react to this ultimately, but I fear that this time their relationship truly is beyond repair. You would think. I mean,
One would think.
I don't feel like Alice owes Kate anything.
Nope.
Like Kate had the best life she could have possibly had for their situation. And Alice's life was shit. And like we just saw that last episode. Like Kate just heard like what she went through.
I mean, I feel like if Kate was like, "Hey, Alice, you and I are gonna go fuck off to a secret island," Alice probably would have gone with her.
I think so too. Take Mouse, like rehab everybody. Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Again, back to Clara's email.
Shelly is Trey pissed.
Yeah, so pissed. I'm sorry, Clara. You're really hitting the nail on the head here for me. If she's tortured in Arkham, I will riot. Kate knows how bad this place is, and she could have had her locked up literally anywhere else. Thank you.
Yeah, literally anywhere else.
Especially at this point of their stories, when she now knows a lot more about what happened to her sister. Sure, Alice is a psychotic murderer, but she also went through a lot of tough shit, and she needs help not to be locked up in an asylum. Sure, she deserves to go to prison for a little while, but she also deserves compassion, especially from her twin. Agreed.
Mm-hmm. Well said.
In other news, they mentioned Coriana again this week and dropped it 5 seconds later. I'm so losing my mind about this. Also, Julia Pennyworth is back. I still have no idea what to think about her. She's not full-fledged enough right now, but I do admit that she goes well with Kate, at least aesthetically. It's true.
She's real pretty.
Yeah. I wouldn't have been against her smooshing Sophie either. I really thought that's where it was
I
going. I mean, they
really
got
thought
that
they were gonna smash.
sleazy hotel. Come on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there was only one bed. I mean, I was certain.
Maybe they should all smooch each other. Well,
Why not?
I guess, yeah, I feel like there's really no limit to what can be done at 8 o'clock on you. So,
Yeah, you're right. 8 o'clock on the CW is just HBO.
exactly, it really is. Speaking of possible relationships, Mary and Luke are so cute together. I'm heartbroken for Luke, who's going to be searching for his father's killer all over again. But I'm glad that he has Mary, and I'm very happy that the Crows are officially sketchy because I never trusted this shady organization, and I like being right about things. I think you are definitely
Yeah.
right about that, and they are
Correct.
adorable together. Until next time, I do not thank you for the monkeys. And please remember, you can't touch your face, even if it's to check that it's still attached to your skull.
Yeah, I'm sorry about the monkeys. My bad.
That's all you.
Yep, that's 100% my fault. That one's on me. Okay. Our next email is from Leslie, who says, Dear Shelley and Aaron, I hope you're both doing well during this time of the coronavirus quarantine and social distancing. I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm hanging in there. I mean, we've mostly stayed at home. We did go for a ride yesterday. I
Nice.
did I did go to the comic book shop. They do curbside pickup where I can pay online so you don't have to like exchange your card or anything.
Cool, and you can still give them money. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Very
it
cool.
gave them a lot of money yesterday.
Thank goodness for your podcasts, which brighten my day as I work from home. Oh, thank you.
Good. I'm glad. Thank you.
Okay, and this is what Leslie has to say about Through the Looking Glass. I have never liked Mouse, and he had the nerve to say to Alice that she should have never trusted Kate. Well, maybe Alice should not have trusted him last week when he tied her up and put the fear gas mask on her face. Yeah, that was rude too.
Yeah, I know he was traumatized, but there's no reason to turn on Alice.
Right, there's never any reason to turn on Alice. Friends.
I don't think so.
I'm not enjoying Kate's actions lately.
Yeah, I'm not even going to go back into it, but I think we all know I'm disgruntled to say the best. Like, at best.
Hashtag disgruntled.
Yeah, very.
Throughout this episode, my desire to still like Kate as one of my favorite characters was very much waning, especially when Kate decided to help Alice break Mouse out of the asylum, which made no sense to me. Well, makes sense now.
Yeah.
I did enjoy the beginning of the sisters' fight, but then Kate ended up trying to choke Alice to death again. I did not like. She does that a lot.
Yeah.
I did not like Kate helping Alice, which included Kate beating up and knocking out asylum security guards in the process who were only trying to do their job. Also stabbing them in the leg.
And it was all for naught. Like, she knew she was fucking playing Alice.
And so if she and Jacob had set this whole thing up, then they should have just worked with the guards so that nobody had to get stabbed in the leg.
Seriously. Shady as fuck. Whatever.
Don't be. I, however, was shocked when it turned out that Kate was actually working with Jacob and double-crossed Alice. I did not see that coming. It was an enjoyable twist. Alice needed to be locked up. Ooh, Shelley and Leslie are gonna fight.
I know she's done really terrible things. I just, based on what she, like, confided in Kate, like, about her biggest fear, and Kate now knows why she's as fucked up as she is. And, like, I think we're lucky that she's not even more fucked up, that there isn't, like, there is,
Right.
like, some sliver of humanity left in her. Or she would have just killed Butler and, like, done whatever the fuck she wanted.
Right.
Like, they should have tried to preserve that instead of just ruining it. Like, there's a better
Right.
way to go about all this, and they just didn't do it.
They pretty much did the only thing they could do to guarantee that whatever sliver of humanity she has left is gone now. Like, there were other ways to do this. I don't think Alice thought that she was ever gonna get to have a normal relationship with Kate. I think she would have entertained other options, but
Right. And I'm not saying that Alice shouldn't be in, like, a facility of some
oh,
kind
she should be somewhere.
for the rest of her life. Like, I'm not I'm not saying that. Like, she's done really bad things, she's horrible things. She's killed people, like, senselessly. But
But Kate knows what Arkham is.
yeah, it's where she left her. And,
Yeah,
like, that they have better options, and they're
exactly.
just not using them.
Mm-hmm. It is so sad that Kate feels like she has betrayed her sister by turning her over to the authorities. Alice is a serial killer and killed Catherine and tried to kill Mary. And who knows whether Alice kept her promise not to kill when she slammed Dr. Butler's face into his desk. I don't think she did. When she kills
Yeah,
people,
no,
it's a
that
lot
wouldn't
grosser
happen.
than that.
Yeah, she's not gonna, like, waste a kill on something as trivial as that move.
Mm-hmm. Mary is so great. It was nice that she showed up in court wearing a fabulous chartreuse coat to support Luke. Yeah, Mary's wardrobe is always A+.
Yeah, she's always on point with that.
Oh. I still enjoy Alice. She is true to her character. I expect Alice to do murderous things, and she surprises me when she does not. I felt sorry for Alice when she got locked up in the asylum and stood there screaming after Kate. I hope we are not losing Alice as a major character on the show. I don't think so. At least not right now.
God, I hope like never.
I mean, I wonder if she'll be gone for a couple episodes. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows even when Batwoman's gonna come back? Listen. Past Aaron. How many times do I have to tell you that it's April 26th? Get your shit together.
Yeah, it's true.
Alice was funny when she said in response to Kate's demand that they break into Arkham Kate's way, considering your way involves strangling a man to death as he choked on his own blood, I would absolutely love nothing more. Yeah, it was hilarious. It was also hilarious when Kate said, promise me that no one will die, and Alice was like, no one will die. It was so hard for her.
It was really hard. Well, she
God,
really wanted to kill that guy because of how
I
horrible
know.
he was to Mouse.
Rachel Skarsten is so good.
She really, really
Oh,
is.
man.
Even my wife enjoys her, and like my wife's like a really like she's a trooper, and she like really just watches these shows because I watch these shows, and I feel like she half pays attention, which is fine. Like it's not her bag. I get it, but she's
Mhm.
like all up in Batwoman, and she is just like, "Do you think?" And like breaks into theories about things, and it's just like mind blowing to me that we're having discussions about my shows.
Oh, I did not like Julia showing up on the scene again. I did not want her donning the Batwoman disguise and engaging in another ruse to convince Mary, for instance, that Kate is not Batwoman. Yeah, I'm glad that didn't happen. Plus, I prefer Sophie and Kate as a couple, or at least someone who Kate can confide in. Thus far, Julia is not a permanent fixture in Kate's life. I wouldn't be mad if she was. Like, if she
I
were to
don't think I
become
would
a series
either.
regular, I wouldn't be mad.
I don't think so either, but I feel like I still need to see more of her. Like,
Oh, yeah. I don't trust her.
yeah, I don't feel like we have a true picture of her character yet.
Yeah. Now, Kate is lying to Luke about finding Cartwright, which is yet another secret. And there still is no movement with telling Mary she is Batwoman. Kate seems lost. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
She has to let someone in, and I hope she does not turn first to Julia, Janie come lately onto the scene, who has not been around like Mary or Sophie. Lastly, there were no new trailers for either Batwoman or Supergirl. New CW episodes have also been quarantined like the rest of us. That's like, I get it.
Unfortunately.
I totally get it. I just wish that we had that to keep us warm while we can't leave our houses. But have a fantastic podcast and stay safe. Leslie. Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you all for your feedback, for your tweets and your emails. You can get us on Twitter at redherringpod or at redherringpod@gmail.com if you want to send us an email. And we're going to go ahead and move on to our endorsements. What do you have for us?
So, my endorsement this week is audible.com is doing some free audiobooks for kids and adults alike. I mean, it's mostly kids, but like there are like literary classics that I think adults could get behind. And it's worth checking out, and they're doing it because of everybody being quarantined. It's just like them doing something so that everybody has access to something, and I think they know like kids are out of school, so it keeps them up on books with them not necessarily having to have the book to read it. They can listen to somebody else read it. One of the literary classics that's featured is Lewis Carroll's Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, and it's read by Scarlett Johansson. If you have kids or nieces or nephews or whatever, this is a pretty great resource. They have a ton of stuff. They have it in 6 different languages. I'm glad that they're doing something like this.
Yeah, that's cool.
Especially with like classic books. Like sometimes it's easier like to hear somebody else read them. So check it out. Listen to one or more. It's a good way to pass the time.
Cool. That's awesome. Okay, my endorsement this week is for the movie The Spy Who Dumped Me. I have been watching rewatching a lot of movies that just make me happy this week because I'm bored and I want to feel fun feelings. So my best friend and I watched The Spy Who Dumped Me again, virtually, of course. And in this movie, Mila Kunis and Kate McKinnon play Audrey and Morgan, who are not spies. Audrey works at Trader Joe's, and Morgan is an actress. And they go on a spy mission in Europe when Audrey's ex-boyfriend, who's played by Justin Theroux, is killed. And he's killed for a flash drive that he had hidden in Audrey's apartment. And this whole movie is hilarious, and it's entirely ridiculous. And it also stars Sam Heughan from Outlander and Hassan Minhaj, who is in a lot of stuff, notably Patriot Act on Netflix, and Gillian Anderson, who we all know turned Kate McKinnon gay in the 90s. So it was nice that they finally got to meet and do this movie together. It's got car chases and an Uber. It has a very scary Russian villain to do gymnastics. A fight in the middle of a Cirque du Soleil show. It's got everything going on. It's so stupid, and I love it. And you can get it on Hulu, and I guarantee that it will make your afternoon a little bit more fun, even if you can't go anywhere or do anything. So, The Spy Who Dumped Me.
Nice. I've been wanting to watch that. That looks hilarious.
It's so funny. It's so stupid. Cool. So that is it for our endorsements. And before we go, I do just want to give you all a quick update. In the interest of accessibility, starting with this episode, we are going to have versions of all of our podcast audio with captioning on it that we'll put on YouTube. And our YouTube channel is called Red Herring. That just got up this week. So we'll put a link to a full podcast transcript in the description on the YouTube videos, and you just hit closed captioning on it, the little CC box, and it'll put it on. But there's going to be a link to the full transcript in the description, and we'll also start putting it in the show notes where we put our endorsements on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and everything like that. So you can either listen to it with subtitles if you want, or you can read the transcript if that's something that would be interesting to you. We currently have our first episode up on YouTube with captioning and a transcript, and we'll have this one up too when the podcast is released. And then throughout the next week or so, I'll be working through each episode of Red Herring that we've done so far. So hopefully we should have all of them captioned soon. So if you want any more information about that, feel free to send us an email, or if you want me to email you the transcripts or whatever, just let me know. So hopefully we'll have that all done pretty soon.
Awesome.
So thank you for listening to us and for all of your tweets and your emails. Please rate and review us on iTunes or wherever it is you listen to this. You can always get us at Red Herring Pod on Twitter or at redherringpod on gmail.com, or you can get me at Ernie Greenbean on Twitter and Instagram.
And I'm at Shop23 on Twitter and Instagram.
And we will talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.